Hi, this is Wesley.
This is Ka'shenia.
And we would like to welcome you to
the Underground Geek Shack.
I almost said video game edition.
It's so easy to do that since we've been flipping back and forth between the two, haven't we?
Yeah.
But, it's been a minute, since we've done an anime recording.
True.
Our last few recordings have been, very...
Scattered.
Pretty scattered, but too, video game-based and stuff like that. So... it's time to go back into our roots, Wes.
Scheduled roots and programs.
Or back to your regularly scheduled programs.
But, hey, you want to know something?
What?
I'm not a bad slime slurp.
So, I feel like this is a long overdue topic that needs to be discussed, because...
especially for us, since we've never actually watched this particular show.
Until now. And I have to say, I feel like it's a shame on our parts.
Yeah. Because
this show, I think, has been going on since we started this podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, technically, when we first started, in between the lines. But still.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who probably guessed or probably doesn't know what we're talking about, we're going to be talking about that time I got reincarnated as a slime. The time when anime titles started getting ridiculous. Like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
What we call now is just Danmachi.
Like, Konosuba, the actual name, I can't remember because everyone just calls it Konosuba.
Even if you go on Crunchyroll, it just states it as Konosuba.
But I'm pretty sure, the actual title is something stupidly long that no one pays attention to.
Right.
But... this was one of the shows that started doing the, hey, guess what? It's a novel as the title. But it's kind of strange. We're going to talk about this later on, but there's a reason why it took us so long to get to this, and we're going to kind of, explain that reason as, a little mix-up to what we actually do. Mm-hmm. But so, the show itself.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have to say, I'm upset at myself for waiting this freaking long to watch it. So we're only going to be talking about Season 1. So spoilers ahead for Season 1 of Reincarnated as a Slime.
So, originally, when... I'm still kind of mad, too. I'm in the same boat with you about this one, about the fact that we didn't watch this originally when it first came out.
Yeah, because I need to, I'm going to do a little fact check real quick to, see when it initially came out.
Because, when I started watching it, I was like, yo. Well, because, I remember people talking about Reincarnated as a Slime when it aired. And then I was just like, I'm not going to look at it. It doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. Little did I know, now I'm interested in it.
Little did we know, we're actually both idiots.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, Past West, how come you didn't watch this?
I want to go back to Past Ka'shenia and be like, you freaking idiot! So, it originally aired in 2018.
Alright, so we would have been... yeah, we were still in college.
Yeah, we were still in college.
Yeah.
So, definitely My Hero Academia was out around this time and stuff like that. I can't really think of much, because I don't really think about anime in years.
Back then, My Hero was still in effect. One Piece obviously was still in effect.
Oh,
Dr. Stone, I think, was still going on.
Dr. Stone might have just started.
Yeah.
I want to say Danmachi came out before this.
Danmachi, we would have been in season 2 or 3 for Danmachi.
So, isekai anime, well... yes, this is around the time when isekai anime started becoming more prevalent in the anime scene. So I think one of the... well, like I said, we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah.
But yeah, so around the time isekai anime started becoming more of a... every season that comes out, there's going to be an isekai. Mm-hmm. Something new has to start. It's you're being reincarnated as this or reincarnated as that. I came back, I was reincarnated with a cell phone and stuff like that.
Right? In another world with my smartphone or whatever.
Yeah. I was like, I can't remember what it's called. It was Death March or something like that. Or I don't remember. But, so... isekai started becoming a thing. It started flooding the anime sphere. We're just kind of okay, whatever, it's another isekai.
Got to the point where you're just alright, we got another isekai, let's roll with the punches.
I feel like this isekai did it right, because in all honesty, it took a main character that he was literally an average life. He enjoyed his average life. It wasn't bad. And the way that he died...
Dude just ran up on him and stabbed him. Like, yo!
Yeah, he was like a crazed stabber. Was just like, we're like, how is this guy gonna get isekai'd? Trunk-kun, he's walking on the sidewalk. Trunk-kun couldn't get to him.
Right?
Nope.
Ka'shenia sent one of her subordinates.
Trunk-kun was just like, you want to become one of us? The crazed stabber's like, yeah. I want to become part of the group, man. He was like, alright, prove me worthy. Kill a man.
You are now under the guidance of Ka'shenia.
Ka'shenia, Trunk-kun. Basama! Alright. But so, like, some just random guy, because he's, like, going out. He doesn't have a girlfriend, you know. Yeah, he's in his 30s.
He was going to go meet with one of his
co-workers who was, unbeknownst to him, setting him up with a girl.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everything would have worked out, because he just seemed like, he wasn't, like, one of those, you know, typical, he was a NEET in his bedroom and, you know, was trying to go out into the real world and then died because he got hit by, like, you know.
Right.
Like,
trying to save someone.
In Konosuba, where it was just like the guy didn't even hit him, he just died because of a heart attack.
He just died from shock, and you're just like, what the heck? Or you have freaking not Shin Megami Tensei. That's the wrong game.
Wrong game, bro.
Mushoku Tensei, and you know, Jobless Reincarnation, where you know the protagonist is a NEET, and you know he goes out and tries to save a girl, gets end up getting hit, and then
well, see, the thing is with Jobless Reincarnation, that came out after Reincarnated as a slime, but I get what you mean. You know, there's the trope of like,
that's the trope that's usually set.
Yeah, like you know, how is this guy gonna die?
Yeah.
There's
how are we gonna take this dude from his actual life and put him in this fantasy setting? That's the thing.
It's really interesting because when you think about it, when it comes to the isekai, it's just kind of like this one did it differently because it's you know, usually when these people die, they go off into this new world and they become like heroes and stuff like that. So you're just like, oh, he's gonna become like a knight, like, or rising as a shield hero and stuff like that. Where it's just like, okay, you know, he's gonna start off as something lowly and work his way up. But we're thinking like, you know, in the realms of he's still gonna be human.
Yeah.
No. We're going to scratch all that. He comes back as a slime. Right? Like, he's blind, he's deaf, he has to feel through the world. Like, literally, he has to feel through the world. But the way that he died, and, like, his wishes, I
remember seeing that clip so many times on freaking YouTube.
The age, and the sage was just like, I'm gonna make sure, like, you have all these powers, heat resistance, cold resistance.
Right, and it was funny because, like, when he's dying, he's like, yo, shut up, let me get some sleep. Why does this pain hurt? And then it's like, the sage is talking to him, and she's like, all right, pain resistance. And I'm like, wait, what? And then he's like, it's so cold. All right, heat resistance. And I'm like,
it's like cold resistance, and then something like happens like hot resistance, combined abilities, temperature regulation. It's really funny. So the thing is, I watched this in the Japanese dub, you watched this in the English dub. I feel like that's important. Yeah. There was a phrase that every time he said something, the sage was just like, attention, you got this like new skill or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she says in the English.
In the dub, it's just like, you know, he would say something and then it's like skill acquired, and then it would go through the different skills and be like new skill created, and I'm like, wait.
That's
what?
Another thing I really like about this anime was like it made it so much like a video game.
And the interesting thing that I want to point out for the dub, at least, right? So when you hear our main character before he gets turned into a slime, the voice, every time I hear this voice now, I cannot unsee this character. And it's
what is it?
It's man, what was it? It was when we watched Noragami. It was Yato.
Oh, Yato.
Yeah. And so, like, when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, that's Yato. What you doing?
You've been reincarnated, dude? You're no longer a god? You became a slime? So, you know, we see him.
He went from a god to just being a regular dude.
But, so... Sorry, I'm thinking about the ridiculousness of the show, and I didn't think I would like it at first, but actually, you know what? let me mention this right now.
I think
so what
worked on by 2 different studios.
Okay, yes, okay, so actually
yeah.
we're going to talk about the anime first, and I'm going to talk about my reasoning getting into it. So, you're correct. What actually happened, and it's really weird, because my friend told me this, and I was like, what? So, apparently what happened was, and I need to be fact-checked about this later, so if we're wrong, we're going to, fix it in post.
Yeah.
The first episode was worked on by one studio, and then for some strange reason, they changed studios by episode 2. So literally the first studio only worked on an episode and a half.
Yeah.
Which is why you saw all the graphics. Like, I was like, what is this 3D model and stuff like that? And I was like, what is happening?
Because I'm not usually all that into, into the whole animation side of things. And I was like, this is an interesting way to go about it. Okay. And then it totally switches by episode 2. And I was like, so we ditched the 3D models, okay.
Like, what's happening here? Oh my god, no, sorry, I just remembered the freaking, just this scene where he's going around eating all the magical grass. Then he meets Veldora. I feel like we're skipping a lot. So basically, yeah, he gets reincarnated as a slime, he wakes up, and then he realizes that he's a slime. But he's not too upset about it. It's funny enough.
He calls it a slife.
He's like, welcome to my... It's like, it's a little bit of a life. My slime life. No, a slife. I'm like, bro! And so, at this point, we don't know much about the world. We do know that slimes exist.
Yeah.
So this is obviously some sort of fantasy world.
Because we basically know that if a slime exists, then other monsters pretty much exist.
And then he knows that he has, like, this great sage in his mind and stuff like that.
It's funny because, like, he calls it the Great Sage.
Yeah. And I think that's, like, her name, actually, something like that. And so, the Great Sage... I don't know, this Great Sage is, like, freaking awesome.
Right?
Like, he depends on this Great Sage. And it's because he's completely new to this life. And the Great Sage will answer any question for him. Which actually helps out in the long run. As we've seen multiple times.
Right?
It's perfect. It's just
Not to mention the fact that the Great Sage actually is capable in battle.
Exactly, yeah, because he's like Great Sage mode to activate when he's fighting against Ifrit. Oh my god! So, it's just, this was the perfect setup for this character to become the most OP character, and he just wants a normal life.
Right?
And it's just so funny to me, right? So, he comes back as a lily slime, eating up magical grass, asking the Great Sage question, and the Great Sage answers him, and it makes him seem like the smartest guy alive, right? So then he meets Veldora.
This freaking dragon in prison.
Tsundere dragon.
Yes. Because, like, he's just like, well, I don't want to be alone. And I'm like, are you serious?
You're so freaking cute. Please.
Because, like, I remember at first he was like, get out of here. And then he goes, but I don't want to be alone.
I don't want to be alone.
I'm like, are you serious right now? I was like, when I watched it in the dub, I was just like, are you serious? Did we just meet a tsundere dragon? And I'm just like, what is going on right now?
I need to send you this picture, but my favorite thing, so after they found out, like, Veldora can't leave because he's been imprisoned there by the great hero and stuff like that. So, my favorite line, I think, is out of episode 2, and I need to send you the picture, is, do you want to get in my stomach?
I remember that. And you're just like, what?
This show, like, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
It takes itself seriously at really good points, but you can obviously tell, and Veldora's just like, yeah, this world, and we pretty
much learned from Veldora
that summoning people to this world is a very common thing.
He said that because the magic hero was basically summoned by at least 13 or more mages.
Yeah, it takes that amount of power to summon one person, but that's because Veldora was very, like, confused, and he was interested because our character, I think at this point, he's not renamed. He's still thinking about his human name.
Yeah.
But then at this point, he gets named to Rimuru. But before that, he learns that Veldora was surprised because Rimuru came to this world not by summoning, but as reincarnated.
And I like the fact that he's just like, oh, so you were reincarnated into this, into this world. And I was like, how do you know about that? And then
it's very common knowledge. And I also find that really interesting because in other isekais, reincarnation isn't really, like, a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you die and you come into this new world and it's just like, oh, what do you mean reincarnated and stuff like that? You know, that's just crazy talk. You're talking crazy and stuff like that.
Then I found it funny when Valdora was like, you know, explaining everything to Rimuru, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I kind of accidentally set a village on fire, and I'm like, how do you kind of accidentally?
So we go through that. He swallows Veldora, and he promises that one day he's going.
Oh yeah, because that's right. He used Predator.
Yeah, he used Predator.
Sorry,
yeah.
I was thinking about the skill. I was like, yeah, he used Predator.
It's just so awesome. You're basically just like, now you have Predator and stuff like that. So then, you know, he goes through, I don't want to give like verbatim what happens, but he leaves the cave, he meets goblins, and so we're going to
Interesting thing about him leaving the cave, he also he ran into he technically didn't run into the adventurers, but the adventurers were going to go, you know, look into the cave and everything, because they're like, oh my gosh, Jorah's not here. Yeah. What's going on? And so they go in. We'll talk about them later, but they go come in, back. Yeah, and they're just like, I thought I sensed something. It's not there. We'll get into that now.
Yeah, Rimuru doesn't realize that he's emitting so much power. And that's one because of Veldora, but also he also tackled a couple other monsters that he just gains a bunch of power. And it's all because of Predator. Predator allows him to acquire so many skills. And I'm just kind of like, this guy is the most OP man in the entire universe of anime.
And then the fact that he's also able to just glide on water, too.
But the thing is, yeah, that. And what's super funny is that he really doesn't want to become OP.
Yeah.
In the ways of, like, he just wants a calm life. Yeah. And I'm kind of like that. I like that. That's a fresh take. And I've seen that fresh take being implemented in other anime. I'm going to go off on a side tangent. There's an anime out there that I want to watch where this dude was reincarnated. But he just wants to become like a really good chef or whatever. So he becomes skilled in planting and stuff like that and farming. He's basically living out a farming simulation. Fantasy farming simulation. Because that's all he wants to do. I'm like, I like this take. Because we're so used to... I want to say Sword Art Online was technically the first isekai without it being a real isekai.
That was the one that entered life high stakes. Yeah, you die in the game, you die in real life. Yeah.
Or no game, no life.
I'm still waiting on that season 2.
That ain't happening, bro. I give up on it.
I know. But I loved it for what we had, though.
In those isekais, the main character wants to become the best. Yeah. Like, the absolute best.
Like, no one ever was.
The best is my real test. The trainer is my cause.
Back on topic.
What do you mean? You know Pokemon is an isekai. Have you not played Arceus, Legends Arceus?
Wrong.
Any of the Mystery Dungeon games? Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
I have played some of the Mystery Dungeon games. I have not played Arceus, though.
They're all isekais. Anyway, Pokemon's an isekai. Prove me wrong.
Back on topic. Back on slime.
So with slime, like I said, it's a really fresh thing because I'm so used to whenever I hear isekai, I think of power trips. The character wants to become the best. He wants to gain all the power and stuff like that. I'm just kind of like, it's been here, done that. Let's do something new.
Yeah.
And this does something new. The character, he gains a lot of power. And he gets himself into these situations by accident where he gains more power. And you can tell in multiple points in the anime. Now we're just going to kind of go general. There's multiple points in the anime. Like, for instance, when they went to the Dwarf Kingdom. There was that long line, and then everyone was going to, people was going to make fun of
Gomta.
Gomta and Rimuru.
Okay. Also, when we mention these names, side note, Gomta is with Rimuru. What was his name? Ragna?
Ragna.
So here's the thing. One, they made a town. It's the monster town. I'm stating that now. Yeah. The reason why I'm having a hard time, because now I have games, because before this we talked about video games.
Yeah,
so,
we were talking about so many video games.
So when I say Ragna, I keep getting Ragna, Ragna Soul Blood Edge from not Grand Blue, it's Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and so I have Ragna Blood Edge in my head, and so every time I say Ragna, I get Ragna, and I'm oh no, I'm having two names conflict with each other. So I have Ragna, Wolf, Tempest, Wolves, all of them, one name.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, to help Wesley explain in this situation, so they are building a monster town because he wants to build a nation where, you know, it's just peaceful.
Yeah.
He wants there to be peace between monsters and humans, because at this point he's learned that there's a little bit of a conflict between everybody. He's in the wilderness, which is ruled by the monsters. Mm-hmm. And at this point he has made peace between the Tempest Wolves, mm-hmm. or I think they're called dire wolves.
Dire wolves at first, and then
they become
Tempest.
Yeah. So he's made peace between the Tempest and the goblins. Yeah. And he's now learned that there's a thing where naming somebody gives them power. So he didn't realize that at first because he was just like, we need names. I can't address you without a name. And he's like, are you sure? You naming a monster will give them immense power.
Yeah. So
the goblins become hobgoblins, which honestly, that was the best transformation, right? With the old goblin man. He's like,
and he comes back, he's jacked.
He said,
and I'm like, whoa, my dude.
And then Gopta did not change. But Gopta honestly is the secret, MVP of this entire show. Because Gopta goes through so much crap and he slowly is leveling up to be the absolute strongest character. He's going to become OP, I bet you, by the end of this series.
Right? Over here taking on enemies by himself, and
he gains poison resistance by eating the most absolute abysmal meal and lived through it, that now he has 100% poison resistance. Nothing can stop this man. He's learned, as you told me, he's learned Shadow Step.
Right?
I'm like, what? Gopta, and then he looks like the doofiest thing. Like he gave it all the power to this schmuck. Everyone's like, how could a slime have all this power? And it's like, no, I'd be like a Gopta.
Because when they went to the Dwarf Kingdom, right? And, we learn everything about, what's going on there. We learn about the different systems that they have going on. And then, we got a freaking politician that walks in and decides, you know what? I'm going to take on the slime. And I'm just like, why?
Oh, yeah, because, he's just like, monsters aren't allowed in this thing. But, yeah, it's just, and, Rimuru has a lot of patience because he doesn't want conflict.
Yeah.
He will resort to methods to bluff.
Yeah.
Like the example I was trying to say earlier, when they were trying to get into the Dwarf Kingdom, mm-hmm. they were in the line, and Gopta said, yeah, the last time I was here, I got beat up pretty hard because some adventurers was just kind of like, oh, monsters, they have no rights. And I'm like, what?
Right?
I get so upset. I was like, whoa.
Because even when that happened, he brought Ragna out, and I was just, no, he transformed into
because he said that he wants Ragna to stay behind because he wanted things to be peaceful.
Yeah.
He didn't want to cause a scene. So, what he didn't say was he did cause a scene. But, so, the slime, he transformed into Ragna, and then he used Menace, the main skill that is Ragna's race.
Yeah.
And the Great Sage was just like, there's been many things. 15 people's passed out. 25 people has messed their pants. There's been confusion everywhere. There's 15 injuries. And then Reaper was just like, I don't need the report. Because all he wants to do is bluff. Yes, he has all this immense power. Another example, mm-hmm. when he was fighting against the ogres.
Right, yeah.
Or the Oni, sorry. They're technically Oni. But I think they call them ogres.
Because we have Onis, and then we have the orcs.
Yeah.
The orcs... This was during the war.
I just remember they called them ogres in this anime. I think mm-hmm. it's to go more towards the Western ideas of... monsters.
All right.
So they're called ogres in this one.
What should we refer to them as for this? You want to go with the ogres, or you want to go with the Onis?
I'm going to say ogres only because the show calls them ogres, and I know in my mind they're actually Onis. But
Because when it came to them, you know, and Rimuru was, you know, he wasn't trying to fight.
He wasn't trying to fight. They were trying to fight him. Yeah, and so he was using bluff.
It was funny because he sat here and like he just held up one hand and then
he was using dark energy,
right? And then he just goes in the dub. He goes, "Come get it, boys!" And I'm like, "Are you serious?"
And he's just, and in his mind, he's like, "Please let this bluff work. Please let this bluff work. Please let this bluff work."
Right.
But yeah, you know, so he's just trying to bluff his way through.
Yeah.
And in most cases, if we look at other isekai, you know, the character's just kind of like, I got this new power, I can defeat you against it. And he's trying to power climb and show his power. Rimuru is only showing his power just so he doesn't have to use it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I was like, you gained dark energy. You have enough power to become a demon lord. And Rimuru literally is just kind of like, nah, bro, I don't want any of that. When the demon lord came over, like the girl who and came infatuated with the honey,
like, yo, when she came over, I was like, who the heck are you? And then she's just like, oh, how dare you mess with my bestie? And then this nails a dude. I was like, yo, whoa,
like that.
We don't need you.
That was amazing, but. That was the thing.
I just love the chant that everyone was like, besties, we're ST.
What's really funny is when she came over and when she found out like how powerful the slime actually is and they become best friends, she's like, you should become a demon lord. And he was like, well, what's the benefits of becoming a demon lord? She's like, you get to fight with other demon lords. He's like, is that it? I don't want any of that. But everyone's just kind of like, you should become a demon lord. And freaking Reaper's just kind of like, I just want to live my life, man.
Yeah, I'm good, yo.
I'm fine. Like, that's just what I really like about this. Also,
I like one of the things he said, all is good in the slime and goblin hood.
You know what? Honestly, that reminds me. So we should probably actually talk about the arcs. But all is good in the
slime and goblin hood.
That must have been in the English dub, and I'm so mad they never said anything like that in the Japanese dub. Now I gotta rewatch the whole show in English so I can see what I've missed.
Well, yeah. So you said you're gonna have to go back and rewatch it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it because apparently in the English, there's a bunch of funny stuff that's happened.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch. Like there's like the moment with the ogres, right?
Yeah.
I know. I want to go back into the war. I'm gonna say this real quick. Like the moment with the ogres, and you know they gave he gives it's interesting the fact that when Rimuru goes to name a large group, like a large species, I guess. Like, he goes into sleep for 3 days.
Well, yeah, because, the first time he realized that naming actually gives power is when he was naming all the goblins, and he didn't realize that first, but then when he named the wolves, since they're all, like, kind of one mind, almost, he passes out, because then that's when he realized, oh, I used up all of my magic.
Yeah.
And then that's when he realized the goblins have changed. And another thing about this is, like, when we see people with power trips and stuff like that, they have, like, some weird quirk to them. Usually, and I hate when they do this, they end up being a pervert. Like, we've seen it in Jobless Reincarnation. Mm-hmm. There are some that just really focus on, like, the sexualization of women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Rimuru, yeah, it's kind of in there, but it's not the main focus.
Yeah.
Like, when he said the goblins, they grew up quick, and then we see the female goblin on the side, we're like, whoa!
I'm like, whoa!
Boobies! And that's why he had to go to the Dwarf Kingdom, because he was like, the goblins, they only knew how to make simple structures, so huts and stuff like that. They didn't know how to make anything permanent, like buildings. And they had no tailor, because they didn't know how to craft and tailor ship and stuff like that. So, yeah, the goblin women were kind of, well developed. And you said, this is indecent. And then you see the freaking, the leader of the goblins saying, Mike, what should we do? He flexes everywhere.
Just the job that the chief now has, like, golly.
Because now he's a goblin king.
Right?
But it's like, when you hear Goblin King, you think of, like, high fantasy, the whole, like, crown and everything. Just like, wahahaha. No, you just have, like, a really simple, humble guy leading an entire goblin race inside Tempest.
Yeah.
Like, this show is just so awesome. That's one thing I wanted to talk about was just the world building.
Right?
Like,
I was not expecting to get that much world building from this show.
And it's not like an exposition dump either.
In a way, it almost reminds me of Log Horizon.
Okay.
Because the thing is that with that show, these characters, like, they originally were game characters.
Yes.
And then it took a SAO kind of route, but instead of them dying in real life, and then, if they die in the game, they die in real life.
Yeah.
The Log Horizon flips it on its head, where if you die, you still come back.
Your data gets uploaded to the game.
Like, well, no, because, like, they went to sleep in the real world, and they woke up in the game.
Okay.
And so
I think I've
now
heard
they
about
just
this.
live in the game. So
Okay.
like all the NPCs, you think they're just NPCs, but those are actual people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, what happens if you die? Oh, let's find out. Push you off a cliff. You don't die. You basically come back in the cathedral.
What?
Yeah, because the cathedral has like a fountain where you can basically just get rebirth. Like, you basically just come back alive, and you're just like...
It's like a respawn.
Right. Yeah, that's the respawn
You
point.
respawn at the save point.
You respawn at the cathedral, and then you just went like, oh, okay, so that's what happens.
Oh my god, they
then,
did ReZero before ReZero did ReZero.
But then it's like, that has more world building and more government type things into it. But that was the world building that kind of clicked in my head when I
can see that. After you described it, that is kind of like what Reincarnated Slime did.
Yeah.
And it never feels like an exposition dump. Like, things get fed to us kind of generally. Like, when it becomes prevalent and important information, we are then explained, and it's like a natural segue into everything. And I never felt like, oh man, I'm being bogged down with so much information, I'm going to have to remember all this. What are the human nations doing and stuff like that. No, it never feels like that. We know that there are monsters, there are humans, dwarves, and then, like, there's three main...
There's the elves. There's
the elves. So when it comes to, like,
fairies.
Yeah, so it goes like this. There are monsters, and then there are the humanoids, which is the elves, the humans. I was gonna say dwarves and humans, like, combined in one.
Oh god.
So there's the elves, there's the humans, and then there's the dwarves. Those are the main three humanoid nations. And then we have the demon lords. Mm-hmm. They're their own, like, thing.
Yeah.
So things are, like, pretty simple. It's well explained out and stuff like that. And we went from a mainly monster-focused anime that slowly, gradually went into, like, monster and human relationships anime. Like, this was how this thing goes through. And you can see it in the arcs, too. When we first start out, we're very monster-focused because Rimuru is introduced to the goblins. This is during what we call the building arc.
Yeah.
Where he's introduced to the goblins, and he wants to create, like, this nation with his goblins because he genuinely, like, likes these people. The people worship him because they think he's intelligently, like, he is the first slime to ever speak. Yeah, he's the first slime to ever speak. Slimes aren't known to speak and stuff like that. And he has helped them out settle things between them and the wolves. Yeah. And, he's unified them, and he's creating, like, a genuine nation. Yeah. We see how things are working out between them. We're like, yo, that's freaking awesome. Because he's creating laws, and everyone's following them. He's creating a human-like society with these monsters. And then the fact that, like, then we get into the lizard men. Oh, yeah, the lizard men. So that's going into the demon orc lord arc, as we like to call it. Because we then are introduced to the demon lords, and we see what they do to try to, like, gain power. That was a little bit weird, because, like, you first see the one orc, walking through the desert, and then this dude just walks up, and he is like, you shall become the demon lord, or whatever. And I'm just like, what in the world? And spins that whole thing out of control until the point where you kill one orc and then they just consume their comrade because they're like, we gain the power of our comrade. Like, we gain, and they all collectively gain the powers of whoever they eat, because that's what the lizardmen don't understand. Like, and so we're still, like, we are still at this point monster focused. We understand about human society because we had to go to the dwarves camp and stuff like that, and we learned about the whole shtick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But then we go back to being monster focused, and we have that war. This is a part where we see Rimuru will fight if he has to, because you have to remember this was originally just a normal businessman in Japan.
Yeah.
He enjoyed his simple life. He had no complaints. For him to be put into this situation, he takes things in stride, and he doesn't really whine too much about it. Like, that was the thing with some anime, is that when some people get reincarnated, they'll kind of like whine a little bit about, oh, I don't want to do this. So, jobless reincarnation. I think, from what I could remember, I didn't watch the first 2 episodes. I remember watching episodes 3 through like 7 with my fiance, and he kind of like whined a little bit, or the past traumas of, because
Rudy is yeah.
And the actual term is, he had agoraphobia. He was afraid of being outdoors or like being away from the home, because he was bullied so much whenever he was outside. That was what caused him to become a NEET.
Yeah.
So, he had agoraphobia that stuck with him. When Rimuru died, well, I forgot his actual human name, but when Rimuru died and came to this world, I
want to say it's Satoru, but it's probably not.
It is Satoru. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, Satoru.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Satoru died and he became Rimuru, he really didn't have much baggage with him. So it's kind of like a clean slate with, I just want a normal life.
Yeah.
I feel like this is I just really like how much of a fresh touch this is. So, yes, there's the Demon Orc Lord arc, which, oh my god.
Yo, we got to see some good fighting from that
There
one.
was a lot of good fighting.
Yeah, and then the fact that we also get introduced to Gabimaru, but then it's,
Gabimaru.
No, sorry, Hell's Paradise is on my mind. Benimaru. Why is it like I said, Hell's Paradise? Gabimaru, Benimaru.
So Benimaru. Actually,
and
I will tell you about this later. So yeah. Continue.
But like, we get introduced to him and his tribe and everything. And I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then while everyone else is like, all right, we need to wait for Rimuru. We need to wait for reinforcements. Well, nah, Benimaru over here, I'm gonna take on the orcs.
Oh no, you're talking about the lizard man.
Yeah.
Benimaru was the leader of the ogres. The one, he's mostly in red hair.
Yeah, sorry,
I can't remember.
I got so many different. I got game names and anime names start melding together. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, right now, I just remember his little posse going after him and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of the lizard man because he was named by somebody else. He was named by the same guy who started the Orc War.
Yeah.
But I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the main lizard guy who's just kind of like
the son of the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is like, oh my god.
And then he got renamed, but his rename was the same name, but just overruled the name.
It's just crazy. And you're right. The war,
right?
We saw some freaking, like, the first fight before this was the fight with Ifrit.
Right.
And that fight was pretty good, but the freaking orc...
Because that was the first time... Yeah, because we actually got introduced to Shizu.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally forgot about Shizu.
No, I know, I feel bad because Shizu is like the main focus.
And Shizu was the person that freaking Valdora was talking about when we...
Like, everything is interconnected.
Right? And it's just like, poor Shizu. Like, she got taken from her home, like...
And then what's really cool is, so she was taken back when World War II was happening.
Yeah.
So it was Nagasaki? Maybe?
Probably Nagasaki, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Nagasaki when the bombs dropped and stuff like that, and her village was burning and stuff. Because we saw planes flying ahead, so yeah, that's probably like Nagasaki or Hiroshima.
Yeah.
But we can tell that she's from older Japan. So when Rimuru comes around, because he's from more modern Japan, he shows Shizu. I know we're going off on a side tangent because Shizue.
I mean, it still correlates, but yeah.
It's just it's just so interesting because we find out that these people are brought forth from different time periods and stuff like that. And time kind of like is a parallel because Shizu has been there for about 40 some plus years.
Yeah.
And Rimuru coming recently, this is like 40, 50 years after World War II. So he's showing like how Japan has like progressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's just a lot that goes into the show that I want to talk about, but I feel like we are starting to go on a little bit of a tangent. So, quick little summary of the other arcs, as we like to call it. The Demon Orc Lord arc.
We defeated the Demon Orc Lord. Okay, it's not we. Rimuru defeated the Demon Orc Lord.
So there was a situation where the orcs were starting to take over other places because a Demon Lord wanted to try to find control within this because Veldora is gone.
Yeah.
This all started because Veldora has disappeared.
Yeah.
Little do they know he's inside Rimuru, who's trying to figure out how to not have Veldora be imprisoned anymore.
Yeah.
So, we see that. The orcs are taken over. Lizardman is like the next to be taken over. So, they're trying to like find a way. Rimuru wants to create a negotiation and a truce with the Lizardmen so that, they can all take on the orcs together. There's a big fight, misunderstanding. The freaking son's an idiot, and I was so mad at him. We also got the, hey, can I kill him now? Yes!
I remember that.
Wait, no, stop!
I was joking!
My favorite scene of all time. Also, the Gupta. If you defeat him, we'll get you a new sword. Wow, really? But if you lose, you have to eat Shion's food. He will be dead!
I remember in the dub when that whole scene happened, and he goes, I'm gonna destroy this little pipsqueak. And I was like, yo, Gupta, calm down.
Gupta was like, I am not eating that again.
And then that's when he used Shadow Step, and I was like, yo, Gupta's the real MVP over here.
But so we continue on with from the demon orcs, and so we see that the Orc Lord did what he needed to do because he wanted to save his people from starving.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, this is again a freaking what I like to call the Demon Slayer effect.
Yeah, the Demon Slayer effect.
They made me feel for the main, what I assumed was the main villain.
Right?
Ah!
Right?
I cried. I didn't think I would cry during this anime, but I cried. I think this is a thing now that I'm realizing I'm just really emotional when it comes to these animes. So then after that, we then go into what we like to call the teaching arc, where he wants to teach the kids and save them.
Because the kids basically have the same thing that was going on with Shizu.
So, where it takes nations to summon these kids. But the thing is, if they were summoned before age 10, by the time they turn 10, they will most likely die because they have no control of the magicals that are inside of their bodies, which makes them basically implode. Yeah. And so, because when Shizu was dying on her deathbed, she said that, I hate this world. I want you to eat me because I don't want to die and be a part of this world. I want to be a part of the world that I had to leave behind. And so, Rimuru honored her wish and consumed her. That's why he's able to take on a human form. Yeah. I feel like we are jumping around a lot in this. Kind of are. Because this anime, there is a little bit of jumping around when it comes to explaining things and stuff like that. But, let's see.
Well, we did also get into the fairies. Yeah. So
there is the fairies, because there was the spirit, she was like the queen of spirits. The queen of spirits. Because they had to go through that dungeon, and
it was funny because she turned out to be a freaking demon lord, and
she turned into a demon lord.
And I'm like, how did you, a little thing, you turned into a demon lord? And she's like, I got my secrets. Like, yo, calm down.
And then the kids, they all take on greater spirits so that they can live on for longer.
One of the kids who only likes to read, who looks like Shizu as a kid, got the freaking most powerful spirit of them all. I'm
and it's
like,
funny because the
heck?
Demon Lord was even like, hold on, that spirit is too strong. It could be too dangerous. They fused together. And she's like, I'm fine. I'm like, what? Okay. Well, I mean,
like, everything's good. Like, whoa, okay.
Well, you're alive, so congratulations, kid. You have the most powerful spirit. Oh my god. So, I actually don't have a lot of complaints. I love this show.
I'm half tempted to go into season 2.
I am tempted to go into season 2, but I lied. I do have one complaint. So, the ending episode 24.
So you're talking about 24 or 24.2?
There's a 24.2? I didn't watch 24.2. So, continue.
Alright, so first, let's talk about episode 24.
Okay.
Right? So, with episode 24, that's more of a Shizu backstory than anything else.
Yes.
We get introduced, we see Shizu, and then she gets, it's her and a whole bunch of...
It's one of her stories about her needing to go to defeat this demon.
Yeah. And then we turns out everyone else is like, oh, you're actually a... They don't know who the demon is. All you hear is, oh, that's the demon over there, posing as a human. You don't know if that's actually the demon or not. And then the actual demon shows up, named Black, and then he's just like... Yeah, you humans are weak. Y'all can't fight me. And then she's just like, bet. And
bet.
takes up the sword. And I'm just like, yo, okay.
Yeah, I remember this episode was like really like weird.
I was like, it was weird, but I loved it. And I was like, now who the heck is Black?
So we learned that he's part of the a race called the progenitors, who was like there when the world was being created, and they don't refer to themselves by names; they refer to themselves by colors.
Yeah.
So, and this is actually noticeable because I meet another progenitor. Like, I'm going to talk about my reasoning for getting into this show, but basically, there's another progenitor called Violet, who Black has a very long history with, and it's Violet's. There's something that Violet has done that has caused the main issue in the movie that released for this. But continue.
And then we get into 24.2, which is basically just called Valdora's Journal. And it's basically just the retelling of everything that Rimuru went through, but from Valdora's point of view. And it's funny because as Valdora is, it's Valdora and Ifrit, and so it's funny because Valdora's over here like he's retelling like this everything that's going on, but it's funny because they'll be talking to each other while everything's playing out, and you hear Valdora go, "Oh, look at my little buddy," and then at one point they're over here playing shogi, and so like you just hear them playing shogi in the background, and then Ifrit goes, "Ha, Valdora, I win." And then Valdora he goes, "What? No, you haven't won. I have a secret up my sleeve." And freaking Ifrit's like, "What do you mean you have a secret up your sleeve? Show me what it is, or I will destroy you." And Valdora goes, "All right, fine." And he flips over his piece, and it turns into an emperor. He goes, and Valdora's like, and it was funny because Ifrit's like, "Huh, wait a minute, you can't turn an emperor on the enemy side."
Oh my god, that's so funny because this show is very lighthearted, so I thought the season would end like that. Now you telling me that I need to watch point 2 now. I forgot about point 2 because I was told that the way they kind of did this series, because there's a season 1 and there's a season 2. There's a season 1.5, and then it goes into season 2.
Okay, I might have to look at the 1.5.
So, because I think, from what my friend explained to me, I didn't look into this, they kind of, like, messed up with the storytelling a little bit. So, season 1.5 is supposed to explain a little bit more about things that happened in season 1.
That's why when I was looking at it, because I looked at season 1, and I saw something that said 2.5 or whatever, so I clicked on it, and it started, I only looked at the names. I didn't actually click on it.
Yeah.
But one of them was like, Rimuru graduates college or something like that. And I was like, huh. So I might have to go back in and look at those before getting into season 2. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
No. So, I mean, I'm basically going off towards the end where, usually towards the end of the episodes, I usually say, what brought you into this anime? We're going to scrap that because Well, okay, I'm going to tell you what brought me into it. What brought you into it, I'm going to explain, because it was me. I brought you into this.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. It was plain and simple. That's your whole reasoning right there. What brought me into this was my fiance and our friends. They've seen all of Reincarnated as a Slime. They wanted to watch the movie, which is Scarlet Bonds.
Yeah, because I remember you saying that. Yeah.
And Scarlet Bonds is basically...
You did that during the Demon Slayer episode. Yeah.
It mainly focuses on the ogres, because there's something that happened to them in the past where they had to leave. And it's the orcs' fault. The orcs burnt down their main village, ate most of their civilization. And...
yeah, that's what they were saying with Rimuru.
Yeah.
Okay. So it kind of expands upon that.
Yeah, it expands upon that, and it goes forward. Like, you need to watch Scarlet Bond because it's so amazing. But now after watching Scarlet Bond, I saw how amazing this show could actually be. Because, like I said, before this, in my mind, I imagined it to be like every other isekai, where it was just a person on a power trip. But then after watching the movie and seeing how Rimuru actually is, I was like, well, wait. He's not like, a normal isekai main character. I was like, I need to watch the anime now. And, that was what brought me into the anime.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to talk about why we chose not to get into this when it first came out. So, like... when you saw that this was an anime, what was your first thought? Like, what told you, nah, I'm not going to watch this?
Because I was like, I think, yeah, because back then, you and me were going through, my anime list like usual. We talked about, oh, look, My Hero. Oh, look, da, 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 da. We saw Reincarnated as a Slime, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't look like something I'd be into. And, legit, that was my thing, it doesn't look like something that I'm going to be into.
Yeah.
And I was like, why watch this when I can still watch My Hero? Why watch this when I can watch da 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 da?
This is when you were still kind of into Naruto, so I think Boruto was coming out.
I think Boruto was coming out, and I was like, all right, why watch Reincarnated as a Slime when I can watch
Boruto?
I can watch the Boruto to see how that fares, and I mean, Boruto.
And then you dropped it because you was like, "This is stupid."
I dropped it. I picked up the manga, but I dropped it.
You said this is basically a retelling of Naruto, except through his son. This is stupid.
I'm like, all right, dude, you pretty much had everything your dad wanted, but you taking it for neglect. I'm dropping it.
You said you're not respecting Naruto at all. Drop. Denied.
I want my cast back.
So, kind of like you, except, when I saw Reincarnated as a Slime and I saw that it was a thing, again, I saw Reincarnated, I'm like, oh great, it's another isekai. Like I said, this is when isekai started flooding the scenes.
Yeah. And
I'm just kind of like, isekais kind of run through the same way, where it's just like a power trip. I'm not going to watch it because it's going to be like every other isekai that's out there. And I was so wrong, and I wish I can go back to myself and be like, what were you thinking? So this has kind of opened me up to wanting to try other types of isekai.
All right.
Slowly but surely, I think what burned me when it comes to isekais was Sword Art Online. It's not a true isekai, like I said, but it
was the start when we were...
Yeah, because I was still in high school when SAO and SAO and SAO first came out, and I just kind of saw the direction that the anime was going, and I was just kind of like,
I was totally all right with SAO.
But then
season 1 of SAO good.
Turns out one of his love interests was his sister, and I was like,
technically it turned out to be his cousin,
or like his cousin.
It was that whole thing that was just weird.
I was like, yikes.
See, that whole thing was weird, but then we got into Alicization, got a lot better because basically you had Kirito from scratch, and then it was dealing with the soul.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, that's pretty cool.
And then we have Gun Gale.
And then we had Gun Gale Online. Yo, we had Gun Gale. I'm not going to lie, that whole season in and of itself was pretty cool. Then we got a spin-off of Gun Gale Online, which dives even deeper into Gun Gale. After the events of what happened with Kirito and his whole thing in Gun Gale, yeah, Gun Gale's still a thing, and we still diving into it, but now it's from another perspective of this other person.
Oh my god.
And I was like, alright, I know where this is going. I like where this is going. Because now you're entering, hey, let's bring the military in here. And the military is using freaking Gun Gale Online as a training exercise for them. But I was like, what is happening?
Wait, we're going off on a tangent.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
get you.
I know we gotta end.
But that's interesting because, like I said, I felt like I was so burned from SAO that I was just kind of like, I don't want to give other isekais a chance. But you've been telling me about other isekais that you watch, because isn't Rising as a Shield Hero
Pretty
is
much
an isekai?
Yeah.
So, okay, I need to watch that. Because after hearing you talk about it...
He didn't get taken out by Truck-kun. He didn't get taken out by Car-sama. He didn't get taken out by Subordinate Knife Guy.
Subordinate Knife Guy.
He legit just gets summoned into the world because he was flipping through a book.
What?
Like legit, like all he was doing, because he's a college student. And
okay.
So he was in the library. He was he picked out one of the books, and he was like, "Oh, this looks like an interesting book." And so he's flipping through it, and at one point there's blank pages, and he's like, "That's not right. Where's all?"
And he gets sucked into
the
story.
He's like, "Where the heck is everything? Where's all the information? There's not enough information to me to finish this book." And then the pages start to go. He gets sucked in, and then that's how he gets summoned into the world.
Alright, so, okay. I like where this is going. You know what? After watching Reincarnated as a Slime, it has reawakened my interest in isekai. So, I feel like I am now more willing to give isekais a second chance. Because, you know, like I said, it started flooding the scene, and I'm just thinking, like, they're all gonna kind of, like, be the same, just, like, different tellings of it. But, like I said earlier about the one where the guy got reincarnated, and he's just kind of like, I want to live a simple life. I just want to become a really good cook.
Yeah.
And so, there are more isekais that are coming out where it's kind of like spinning the genre on his head. You know, Slime
got reincarnated as a vending machine.
No, there's also one where it's reincarnated as a sword.
Yeah, I heard about that one. I'm like, really?
Is an isekai. It's not an anime yet.
Why'd you sound so heartbroken when you said that?
Because when you hear the name of it, you're gonna hate it.
I
was once reincarnated. I forgot the exact title, but basically, I got reincarnated as an onsen.
Oh, no. No.
He talks about the healing. It's a whole... I think from what I last saw about it, it's 3 volumes.
3?
It's a light novel.
No. No, we've already done our fair share of light novel
Light novels are at least... like 150 pages. I think each book is about 200. How can you write 200 pages worth about a guy who got reincarnated as an onsen? Those of you who don't know what an onsen is, it's a bathhouse. A spring bathhouse. He became the water that washes... I'm so angry. I'm so bad. There's 3 volumes of this. 3 volumes. What do you have to say?
I love how you're just like, there's 3 volumes of this. Oh God! All right, we gotta end.
Hold on.
Oh, that's just too funny. That's just too funny.
I'm mad. There's 3 volumes.
Oh God! I want to read Don Machi. I want to read that series.
Oh my God. You can, at least that series makes sense. You're not a freaking bathhouse. Or the vending machine one. When you tell me vending machine, I'm like... I'm reincarnated as a book. There you go.
I'm reincarnated as a book.
I'm going to make 12 volumes of this. You cannot stop me.
That's good. That's hilarious. Oh God. Okay, we gotta end off.
We have to. Basically, what I'm saying is my love for my curiosity for isekais is getting back up there, but I'm slowly losing faith again with stuff like that.
You want to come into the Fate franchise? I mean, you already did Grand Order.
I I did Grand Order, and it was fantastic.
You want to go into Fate Apocrypha next?
That sounds like too much work.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, do you want to announce the next anime that we'll be covering?
Yeah. So the next one we are going to be covering. What was it? My Hero?
Yes.
Yeah. My Hero. Sorry, I almost said another one that's gonna be for next time.
It's gonna be for next time. We're super excited for it. Wesley's really excited for it.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna save that one for after the next episode. So we're gonna keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
But the next anime that we will be discussing will be My Hero Academia Season 5, because I'm finally taking the plunge and catching up to the series. And Wesley's excited because now he finally has somebody he can talk to about it again.
Right.
And I'm excited because, things are happening. So, excitement's in the air. Mm-hmm. We're going with My Hero Academia Season 5. One more announcement we should make. We just finished Demon Slayer
the Hinokami
Chronicles as our video game. So, should we announce our next video game on here?
Sure, why not? For those of you who want to listen or even watch our gameplay.
As of recording.
As of this recording, there aren't actually any out yet.
We're still working on it.
The next video game that we will be playing is, drum roll please, is the what was it? Famicom Detective Club?
Yeah.
I almost called it Detective Famicom.
Famicom Detective Club.
Which one?
It's the Missing Heir. It's
the
first one.
All right, cool. Yeah, the Missing Heir. Yeah, you heard it here first.
You're here first, guys. But so those are our next announcements. We're super excited to continue on with what we're blah 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 blah.
With what we're doing.
With what we're doing, yes. There are multiple things that we're doing and multiple projects that we're taking on that I'm super excited for. But yeah,
there also will be a announcement coming out soon.
Oh.
About something.
Oh.
Something your boy has in the works.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear about this.
I'm gonna save that for next time.
Alrighty then. But, we do have to end off. Mm-hmm. So, thank you all for coming. And like you said, wait, hold on. So, thank you all for coming. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we would like to thank you for visiting us in the Underground Geek Shack. See you guys.
Maestro.